Hey y'all, welcome to another week, Unity TV. You know, we are in a new series entitled Introverted Christians. If this is your first time actually being here with us, my name is Darius Charles.
I'm Monique Charles.
And we have very special guests with us this week, the Trents, Minister Kenneth and Minister Ranyel. Trent, they have some powerful insight they're going to give us this week on the topic, the Introverted Christians. So, guys, thank y'all again for being here.
Absolutely.
It's going to be fun. I already know it's going to be fun. It's almost like we've been here before. So, so the Introverted Christians is a topic that we kicked off last week. First time meet you guys, I just knew off the top of my head that you both were extroverts. Which one do you guys identify with more?
Introvert.
Introvert?
Extrovert.
Extrovert? Okay, awesome. So y'all like just being out there.
And she's one that should just jump into random people's conversation while they're talking. She'll be like, yeah, because you know I was telling him the other day.
Right.
Yeah, they literally have these people.
So opposites attract. Obviously, we hear that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, if y'all don't mind, this is way off topic. How do y'all meet?
Well, actually, I used to be in the music business.
Okay.
But the way I was promoting my music was low key at these poetry nights. I would just do my rap.
Right.
You know, with no music, so it was like poetry. And one day, they had this lady who represented this socialite club called Diamonds in the Rough, and her name was Ranyel.
Come on, man.
Yeah. And so we developed a business relationship then.
Gotcha.
But then when I got out the business, it was years before we spoke again. But when I preached my first sermon, I just, invited the people on my Facebook page, and there she was. She said, well, me and Mama, we gonna come. And so they came, and we reconnected like that.
It was all good.
Here we are.
That's cool.
Here we are.
Great.
And being the extrovert I am, I don't tell people this often, but I reached out to him.
Slide up in the DMs. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
But it is true. Because we were both, he had went through a divorce, I was going through one, and so I just came out, I was like, man, how did you do it?
Right.
How did you handle it? And he was just basically like a lot of prayer and a lot of times on my knees.
Got it.
And just going out there, because I could have just stayed, scared to ask anybody or embarrassed about what I was going through. But I was like, hey, I need some help.
Right.
And that's what
That's
my baby.
That's him, man. That's one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, baby, if you could, what's the first question we have for
Okay,
Trents?
so what I wanted to know is, with an introverted Christian, what was y'all's outlook or intake or
Both.
how do y'all feel about what an introverted Christian is? Like, what is that to you guys?
So when we think about an introverted Christian, it's on different levels. We say an introverted Christian is someone who most of the time is shy, but not necessarily with the people that they're familiar with. So they like to be by themselves, or they like to be with those people that they are used to or they're accustomed to, whether it's with their family members only or whether it's just with the people in their church. They're not necessarily ashamed to go out and to spend time with other people, but they're just fearful of the outcome or what they their own beliefs about themselves oftentimes hinders them from going out and experiencing other things with other people.
That's good.
And actually, as I was doing some research, it said that most of the introverts are, like you said, inside their own heads. So they know all their flaws, they know all their insecurities, and they feel that everyone and their mama can see that. I actually watch a ton of Criminal Minds, and this is I had an episode once where this lady, she would see certain things on people, and it was the weirdest thing in the world. But she would see it on herself too. And I think she had some type of sickness. And not saying being an introvert is a sickness, but at the same time, you got to understand that those people that you are ministering to or that you want to share the gospel with, they are flawed just like you are. So don't get to a point where you feel that you're less than, you can't go out there and minister to people because of your flaws, because we all have some. I have very minimal, now I'm playing, but so what about yourself, Trent? What did you when you heard that the topic of introverted Christian, what came to your mind?
Well, clicks. That's what came to my mind. Being introvert. Now, being an introvert myself, I love my solitude and all of that, but I also I quickly learned that God, while He does want you to appreciate solitude, and while He created you the way that He created you, He doesn't like comfort zones. And so while a person may be an introvert, He's still gonna push you outside of your comfort zone. Hey, go talk to this person. You know, hey, go sit down with them. Or hey, evangelize the workplace. And the whole time you just like, really, God, I just want to work and then go home. You know what I'm saying? I want to hit that time clock and I want to go about my business. But that's not really what He's like. He's not really a comfort zone God. And so for us to be comfort zone Christians is, you know what I'm saying, the complete opposite. And so when I think of that, I think of cliques. And like my wife said, it's when people only want to be either by themselves or with people that they're familiar with. Whether that's one individual, whether that's a small group of people, or whether that's a whole church who only wants to fellowship with those in their church, you know. And I listened to this sermon real recently, like the one you sent me, where the guy, he said, if you only fellowship and talk to and learn from people that's just like you all have the same blind spots. And so, you know, you'll miss a whole lot when you could be edified by other people, and you also miss a whole lot of opportunities to minister to people who God loves and who God cares about, just because we want to stay reserved.
Man, that's great. That's awesome, man. Like, I posted this a couple months ago, rather, on social media. Keep your perspective subjective. And that's kind of like what you were saying, what Dr. Darius mentioned as well, is that God wants us to have different point of views, different ways that we see things, because the world is not Lake Charles. There are so many different areas, countries, cities, states, and all the different things. There are so many different ethnicities as well, and different ways that people operate. And so whenever we get to a situation where we are in that clique, and we are like, well, I'm just going to deal with my 4 or 5 guys that I know pretty well. One, we can't be challenged. We can't be challenged to look at certain things a different way, but also we can't help other people to see things from our point of view. Because here's the thing, introverts and extroverts, they both have gifts. Okay, so introverted, you see, they tend to want to spend time with themselves. They're a loner. They're not necessarily shy. Not all introverts are shy. Because I'm an introvert, but I'm not shy. I get up and speak in front of hundreds of people if I had the opportunity to do so. So your gift of being by yourself is an opportunity that you can actually develop that one-on-one time with God, meditation. I mentioned this last week, that most are the best philosophers, authors, musicians, people that just create are typically introverts. So you can minister in a way without preaching. You can minister through your book. Speak about that, Ranyel. I know you got a couple. How many books do you have, by the way?
This last one was my 7th book project. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm sitting down with an author, y'all. A full-time author. That's awesome. That's good.
But it really allows me to just get the things that's on my mind off. The way the way I started writing was my mom and dad were going through a divorce. And I thought I was like 8, and I thought I was losing my mind because, oh my God, we're going to be poor. Dad is gone. And so my aunt was like, she needs to go to counseling, bring her to counseling, and she needs to discuss it. And my mom, you know, you got to understand my mama. She was like, she ain't going to no counseling. She put me in karate. And so, I don't know why. But in the karate course, they made us memorize Bible verses. And it was so easy for me that I started taking the verses and flipping them into poems. And that's how I gained my love for writing, because that was my way of expressing what I was feeling on the inside that I didn't feel I could tell anybody else. So for a long time, my writing was just for me. Still to this day, Trent will go and spend his alone time with God. He'll be in there for 2 hours sometimes. Me, I'll write my prayers out to God, and I'll talk through my words to Him. And so I think we all should have like a balance. So you spend that alone time, whether it's through your writing, through your music, or through your prayers and meditation. And then you can still go out there and say, hey, God did this for me. Now look, let me tell you what He did, and He can do the same thing for you.
Right. I like that, the balance. Now this is not in the Bible, when He talks about there's a time for everything. Now He didn't say there's a time to be introvert and a time to be extrovert, but I do believe that's a thing. Okay, there is a time you're supposed to get out and open your mouth. There is a time when you need to sit down and study and learn and hear and things of that nature. So that's awesome. So, babe, you got any other questions?
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that being an introverted Christian is them being selfish?
Well, when you think about it, in a certain aspect, it kind of does.
Right.
And I don't want to call any introvert that may be listening that, hey, you're being selfish. But think of it this way. If you had the greatest gift in the world,
right,
and you knew that other people can benefit from this gift that you have, wouldn't you want to share it with someone? I know if somebody said, hey, Ranyel, here's $1 million, I'd be like, Mama, we got it. We got the money. I'm calling my mama, my sister, my grandpa in Lafayette. I'm calling family I haven't even spoke to in years because I want to share, I call y'all too.
Yeah, we better get a phone call.
Yes. And so you want to share that with people. It's the same way with Jesus, man. When you know how great of a gift that Jesus is and how it can help someone, why wouldn't you want to share that?
Yeah.
And I see it like this. Let's say a person's house is on fire and you know that person. You have their phone number. They in their sleep.
Yeah.
You standing at the road and their house is burning down.
Wow.
Would you pick up the phone and call them? Why not?
Right.
I mean, their house is burning down.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but you know what I'm saying? But you want to say, well, I'm just not that kind of person.
Right.
I'm more to myself.
Right.
But I mean, their house is burning down.
Yeah.
You need to call them so that you can save their life.
Right.
And that's the same thing with the gospel. If somebody is on their way to a burning hell and we're standing here and we're just watching them, but we won't speak up and say nothing and just chunk it up to, oh, that's just the way I am.
Right.
Yeah, that is kind of being selfish when you think about it. Now, there's a difference between an introverted person and an introverted Christian.
Yeah.
Now, you could be an introverted person, and that's how God created you. But God didn't create introverted Christians to stay to themselves and to stay in their little bubble, in their little circle. He created us with the Great Commission to go and make disciples of all nations.
Yeah.
That doesn't just speak of the people that's already saved.
Right.
That's like my pastor always says, that's like me telling my sister how good my mama is.
Right.
She already know.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's about going and talking to people who don't know the Lord, that need to know him, because that's the most important knowledge that you can have in your life, is to know Jesus Christ.
And one of the things we say in our poem, State of the Kingdom address, we say only being a light in a lit room has no purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if you're the light, but yet you're sharing the light with everybody who's already lit, it
What
don't
good is
matter.
it? You know what I'm saying?
No, that is so powerful.
You have to go out into the darkness.
God, dog, that is, my God, dog. You came up with that?
That's on his
Yeah.
My
part.
God, that is really good.
That's real
Oh
good.
God, yeah, and it's funny because just a simple hello, how you doing? Just a simple, and a lot of times we get so caught up in text message, DMs and stuff like that. It's not a whole lot of personal connection through a text message or a DM. But if you spoke to somebody and just said, "Man, I just thought about you," like I do that a lot. I got a lot of friends in Baton Rouge, and I just call them randomly. And, like, man, and they always tell me, "Man, I really appreciate you reaching out to me." And sometimes I don't want nothing. I just call them to see how they doing.
Yeah.
So we can do that a lot with people that we don't know. Need to just speak to them, man. How you doing today? And it's just small steps. So if you battle like really, really hard with getting out of your comfort zone and speaking to people that you don't know, just try that. I mean, try the whole concept of, hey, how you doing?
You got it.
Nice hair. Nice. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, there's this concept. It's finesse. Finesse 101. I be doing this a lot.
Right.
Okay, finesse 101. Okay, here's where you meet people.
Right.
Way down here is where they're gonna receive Jesus, but you can't go up to them, which is what a lot of people think. I just gotta go up to them and just dive straight in. You know, speaking in King James English. Thou Lord, thus said the Lord. You don't have to do all of that. What you do is, here's where you meet them. Here's where you start.
Right.
And whether that's, man, I like your shoes, man. Where'd you get those shoes? They fly. You know, I'm really saying that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You start with that, like Jesus with the woman at the well. He didn't just say you had 5 husbands, you need to get saved, baby. He didn't say that. You know, he said what did they both have in common? They had this. The water well. So she walked up and Jesus said, "Hey, give me something to drink."
Right.
It started a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And from there, just there, he was able to kind of build a small relationship with this woman enough to get her to open up,
Right.
you know, to where he could actually share what she needed.
Gotcha.
You know, so it is not always a run after people with the Bible, and you know what I'm saying, it's not always the God talk. which that's the end goal. You want to get there. You know what I'm saying? You don't just want to stay on the parameters and just, you know what I'm saying? But you do want to get there, but you don't have to start there. It's finesse. You know, you gain a relationship with the people.
And look, this is so important, because when we think of the introverted Christian and going out and adhering to the Great Commission, we think that we have to go far to Ethiopia or somewhere to try to teach somebody about Jesus, when you can start right there in your home.
Right.
We all know somebody. We all got a cousin Ray or Uncle Pookie and them who don't know God, who's still doing what they've been doing since the 2000 Cash Money. And so we can start there. The Bible says to start in Jerusalem, then Judea, then to Samaria, and all to the uttermost parts of the earth. Consider your Jerusalem, your house, your family, those that you are that you're familiar with, that you're in constant communication with. Start with them.
Right.
Start encouraging them. Start sharing Christ with them, and then you're gonna gradually work your way out.
Yep, that's good.
Come on now.
That's real good.
Yeah, y'all there, like, y'all wanted some tithes and offerings. Y'all doing a great job.
My Cash App is.
Guys, I hope y'all got something from this dialogue that we had with the Trents. We definitely appreciated them coming by. I hope y'all did as well. We appreciate having y'all. Hope y'all appreciate being here.
Thank you so much.
Now, before we leave, we always tell people this. Give them give the people watching a way to stay in contact with y'all, to connect with y'all. If they need any more advice, encouragement, how can the people stay in contact?
Okay, I got this. Okay, you can check us out on any of your major social media, Facebook, Instagram, and all of that. Kingdom Life Enterprises on Facebook. We do a whole number of things. We do poetry, preaching, singing, music. We publish books for other people. We do a lot.
Right.
But you can reach me on my personal page, Minister Kenneth Trent Jr., or you can reach my wife at Minister Ranyel Trent. And we love to fellowship with other people, and we just love to, spread the kingdom life and build the kingdom with other people, So by all means, hit us up.
Right.
By all means.
Definitely. And they are good people. This is the way that they are right now in this video is who they would be when you contact them. Rest assured that I wouldn't recommend y'all to get in contact with them if that wasn't the case. But hey guys, thank y'all again for coming. Really appreciate you guys again, brother. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.